A girl once possessed otherworldly beauty, but for years she disguised herself as ugly and uncouth, all to avoid being chosen as a concubine in the imperial palace. She went to great lengths to make people think she was vulgar and crass. Even the eunuchs turned up their noses, saying her presence would sully the emperor's eyes. Just as the girl was happily preparing to leave the palace, having achieved her goal, a scheming woman, wanting to highlight her own beauty, bribed the eunuchs, insisting the girl enter the palace to be her foil. Little did they know the girl everyone despised was actually the emperor's beloved wife of many years. 3 years ago, she had taken on a false identity to stay by the emperor's side. She had been through thick and thin with him, risking life and limb. But when the emperor ascended the throne and wanted to make her his empress, she feared her deception would be exposed and punished. So she fled the palace in the night. The emperor searched for her in vain for 3 years, never expecting that after 3 years, her father would force her to join the imperial concubine selection. To prevent the emperor from discovering her identity, she darkened her own skin. Little did he know the emperor would see the shadow of his wife in her, and he immediately announced that the woman would stay in the palace. This move stunned everyone present. The girl never imagined the emperor would keep her in the imperial harem. Most importantly, the disguise on her face would rub off at the slightest touch, so every night she would anxiously track the emperor's whereabouts, not daring to even bathe until she was sure where he would spend the night, fearing he might suddenly summon her. Little did she know the emperor visited over a dozen consorts that night, but not a single woman could make him stay, because they only knew how to flatter and fawn over him. This made the emperor miss his wife all the more. The girl saw the emperor was about to reach the last 2 palaces. She promptly had someone inform the emperor that she was ill, and to ensure the scheming woman would keep the emperor occupied, she immediately sent word telling the schemer to avoid wearing blue or hairpins with plum blossoms at all costs. Having taken precautions on both fronts, the girl finally felt at ease to bathe and sleep. The schemer, however, thought this was the girl's petty trick to gain favor, so she deliberately wore blue and adorned her hair with plum blossoms. When the emperor saw her attire, he immediately confined her to her quarters for a month. Only after the eunuchs explained did the schemer realize her outfit had offended the late grand princess. The schemer was filled with regret, seeing the emperor was about to enter the girl's last remaining palace. To prevent the girl from winning favor, she directly bribed a eunuch to frame the girl. Then the schemer hurried to tattle on the girl in front of the emperor, claiming the girl had done immoral things in the palace. Meanwhile, the girl suddenly smelled a strange odor, and the next second her maid collapsed to the ground. Little did they know the girl was not one to be trifled with. She immediately tied up the fake eunuch, but before she could interrogate him to uncover who was behind the plot, she heard the emperor had arrived. The girl panicked. There was no time to reapply her disguise. Just then, the guards kicked open the main door, exposing the girl's true appearance to the emperor's eyes.